Morning everybody, thank you for coming out on this brisk morning. For any of you that told me it's been a cold outside, we've been busy working in here getting everything ready. So I'm just going to give a quick introduction as my USB device pops up there. So before I kick off and get into some of the information we're going to share with you today, so let's say a big thank you to all our sponsors. Sourcefire, Sophos, Amazon, Integrity Solutions and Checkpoint. They provided us with a lot of help. Without their contribution, we wouldn't be able to run this event. Without their support, we actually wouldn't be able to run IRIS throughout the year because, like every other organisation, we have bills to pay, etc. And it can be quite tough going. I'd like to thank all the volunteers who work with me in IRIS. This is a completely voluntary organisation. All of us give up our spare time that we have on it, and as we're getting older, kids and different jobs, it's getting tough, isn't it, like Kieran? So I'd like to thank those guys for everything that they've done there as well. As Gordon said, next door we have our Cyber Challenge. It's the fifth year actually we've run it. And it's a pretty cool challenge this year. If you go in, you actually see spinning globes where countries have been taken over by the attackers. You'll see nuclear missiles being launched against different countries and stuff. So it's now a spectator sport. And I'd like to thank the guys in the Honan, and no, they can't hear me because they're next door, and the Institute of Technology in Branchtown for helping us get that set up today as well. I'd also like to thank IBM. I don't know if some of the guys from IBM are here, but you're going to see in the statistics that I've given you that we've actually had a huge workload this year. And one of the challenges we do face is, as I said, we're voluntary, so we resources constraints on that side. But the amount of issues we've dealt with have jumped significantly this year. So much so that we now are looking to automate some of the alerting process that we do because we just can't keep up with it manually. And the guys in IBM have been very kindly offering up their spare time to help us develop tools to do that. So any of the guys from IBM here to stick up your hands, so thanks very much, and pass on the gratitude to the rest of the guys as well. Now when I talk about security, and I run my own consulting business, and you're into talking to people here and Ireland about security, the attitude we get, and probably some of you get in the room as well, is, well, we're Ireland, who cares about us? We're a small company, criminal's not going to worry about me, okay? And like we're this little small dot on the west coast of Europe, we're tiny over there. Well, I think some things, if we think about what we have here, we actually are quite a significant issue. So 8 of the top 10 global ICT companies are based here. Some of them outside sponsors. 9 of the top 10 pharmaceutical companies are based here. 6 of the top global games companies are based here, and 17 of the top 25 global medical device companies have operations based here as well. The top 10 born on the internet companies have a presence here in Ireland as well. Half of the world's financial services have a presence here, be that on the FSC or elsewhere. 94% of Irish businesses depend on the internet to run their business. So I think those statistics alone highlight how important the online environment is to Ireland, to our economy and to our businesses, and even to ourselves individually. And significantly, we've had a number of large breaches in the past 12 to 24 months. I'm not going to go through all of them there. You can see the logos there, like some big names like O2, the GA, Fine Gael, Meteor, Recruit Ireland, Borgosh, Bank of Ireland. They've all had security issues. And as Gordon alluded to in his opening address, Loyalty Build has also been a big headline grabber. I think it's made a lot of people sit and take notice of the impact it's had. So security is important. So I said we get notified of incidents here in Ireland, or we get contacted by certs outside Ireland, we get contacted by research companies to tell us that they've discovered a security breach here in Ireland. So it may be a compromised server or another instance as such, and they ask us for assistance in contacting the companies that are compromised to help them deal with the issue. This year we've dealt with 5,802 incidents. Last year we had 432. So a huge, significant increase there. And I'd like to thank, I don't know if he's in the room, he's at the check-in desk, but Aaron Toll, who's working with us. Aaron actually has spent the past 4 or 5 days sweating blood over Excel spreadsheets trying to get all this information together. So and we're going to give you a breakdown of the types of incidents we've had. So the majority of incidents, 74% of the incidents, have been websites, Irish websites belonging to Irish organisations that have been compromised and hijacked by criminals to host phishing sites so they can target people in other jurisdictions. So if they want to target eBay, PayPal, Citibank, you name it, any financial institution throughout the world, the criminals don't want to buy their own servers. That's why they're criminals, they like to steal them. So they will hack into companies' websites, they will load up their phishing pages on those websites. So anybody visiting those websites as normal users will actually not see the phishing page. The phishing page is a hidden page on that site. But when the criminals send out their spam emails to try and phish victims, they will have a link back to that page. So the Irish websites are being used to facilitate criminals to target other people. 19% of the incidents were websites similarly compromised but used by criminals to put malware and viruses on those websites so that when innocent users of the website would visit that website, it would automatically download the virus onto their PC. So if the PC wasn't updated with the latest antivirus software, did not have the latest security patches installed on them, their machine became compromised and the criminals were able then to take over. We've all seen the headlines recently about CryptoLocker, and this is one of the ways that CryptoLocker actually infects machines is through compromised websites. People familiar with CryptoLocker? If you're not, it's actually a piece of nasty malware. When it infects your computer, it will encrypt all files on your computer, and you then have 72 hours to pay a ransom to the criminals via Bitcoin or Ucash or some other electronic cash mechanism. If you don't pay within 72 hours, you no longer have access to your information. And if your PC is connected to a network, it will encrypt all the files on a network drive as well. So those of you sitting here who are network administrators saying that CryptoLocker is just a consumer concern, and just to worry about it because it's only going to target people at home. Well, actually, if one of your machines in your organization gets infected with CryptoLocker, you could have your network shares encrypted as well. And there has been no way yet, verifiable way yet, of being able to decrypt and recover that information unless you actually pay the ransom. And you're not guaranteed you're going to get the ransom, the information back even after paying the ransom. So that's pretty good. We've seen a significant increase in DDoS attacks. We have seen 5% of all our incidents were actually DDoS attacks incoming into Ireland, targeting Irish websites. Our Irish IP address located in Ireland. But you can see that 14% were Irish websites that have been compromised again by criminals to use as part of their DDoS attacks to target other companies. So criminals would hack into a website, install malware on that system, and then use your server, your bandwidth, your data center to attack other systems in other jurisdictions. And a lot of it has been down to mass compromises, so maybe a major vulnerability in WordPress or Joomla or whatever, and they would go and automatically scan for vulnerable systems. Once detected, they would then infect and take over those systems. So, you can see a large significant portion there. So all these incidents have been reported to us. To me, they highlight that the argument that, well, I'm a small company or we're based here in Ireland, I don't need to worry about this because nobody wants to steal my data. I don't have credit card data. I don't have a lot of sensitive information. I don't have intellectual property. Well, actually, criminals don't care. They do care if they do care if you do have that information. It's a bonus. but they actually want to use your resources and your machines as part of their toolkit as well. So if you're not, you can become part of the problem as well. When we analyze it, we've seen a huge increase in, like, organised crime. Last year it was about 95% of our incidents were organised crime. The significant increase in the DDoS attacks, we can't determine who's behind those, so we don't know what the motives are. So 21% of those incidents are in that category. But you can see organised crime is still a significant contributor to a lot of the issues that we're dealing with. When we do look at these, and any information we do and feedback we get from the compromised systems, there are very simple things that have made these compromises happen. Poor passwords, and a hint, folks, password 1 is not a complex password. Neither is password 2, or password 1, 2. Missing patches, missing patches, so keeping your web servers or your systems patched and up to date, it's a basic task to be doing. If you're not doing it, your systems could become compromised as well. Lots of vulnerabilities in web platforms, so if you're using a web platform, be that a CMS platform or a blogging platform or any those two, make sure you're keeping it up to date, because criminals discover a vulnerability in those platforms, they will create tools to automatically scan the internet for vulnerable systems and target those systems. And if you don't keep your system up to date, again, you could potentially be a target. Out of date antivirus software, again, simple protection. If it's not there, you could be compromised. But I think a significant issue here is lack of monitoring. Every single one of those issues, 5,802 incidents that we've dealt with, the companies involved did not know they had a security problem. They're not looking after their sites, they're not monitoring their security logs. They did not know that they had a security problem until a third party contacted them. And so if you're not monitoring, if you have an alarm on your house and the alarm goes off, you want somebody to react to it. Likewise, on your networks and your systems, if you have alarms on them, you want people, and people should be reacting to them. So I'd ask people here to make sure you cover those basics. That if you have people managing key systems and key servers, you look at them using strong authentication. Ideally, yes, using strong passwords. Ideally, we can use two-factor authentication in some way to increase that. That would be better. Keep systems patched and updated, particularly security patches. Antivirus software, keep it updated, and monitor what's going on. Check your logs and see what is happening. I think, just to highlight, I remember when the CERT was set up in 2008, cybersecurity wasn't really high on the agenda, but you can see this year in July, Minister Shatter has actually said cybersecurity is a complex issue that requires cooperation across all sectors to ensure the safety of our networks and infrastructures. So what we are hoping today with our conference is that we're sharing information with you through our statistics, but also through the different speakers, that you will walk away from here today with added knowledge that maybe you can help protect your systems better. We would encourage you and ask you to share your own experiences. Through ourselves, any information given to us is treated confidential, highly confidential, and we take the information anonymously as well. So the more information we have, and the more we know about how attacks are happening, the better we are able to warn people as how they should protect themselves. So with that, I'll get off the stage and let the more interesting speakers come on board. Anyways, any questions? I'm quite happy to take questions in the next minute or two. If not, we can crack on.
So, Brian, the incidents 5,802, is that easily available? Can we access that?
Well, we will give the data like we presented there, but we will not be giving out the details of the compromise themselves, because as I said, we keep the information secure and confidential, because we don't want people.
Yeah, no, of course, just the numbers, the quantities on it.
Oh yeah, like we have them in the presentation there. Quite happy to share that.
Is that maintained on the website? You can see it every month or every couple of months? Or?
That is, as I said, that's a challenge we're hoping, and the guys from IBM are trying to help us automate a lot of that, and if we can do that, we'd be quite happy to try and put the information out more regularly and share more regularly. At the moment, because we're a voluntary organisation, time is not our friend, and we have to do with what we have. Yeah.
Question regarding the huge increase that you saw this year. Is that because people are reporting their?
No, the huge increase this year is well, we've increased. As we've grown more and more into the CERT community, we've got more and more connections. We are actually getting more and more reports coming to us externally. But there have been more compromises. A lot of them have been down to mass compromises where multiple systems have been attacked based on weak vulnerabilities, and you've just seen a significant increase in those types of attacks. So it's a combination of both. Yeah.
You mentioned that the bad guys will automatically update their system or tools to scan your website or servers. What tools are you seeing being used out there?
Well, they have their own scripts, etc. So we actually haven't got our hands on any of those tools yet. I know there's some speakers later on today from Symantec and Trend may be able to give more definitive answers on that. But once there's a vulnerability on your website, it can either be tackled manually by an attacker, or it can be used. They can take it by with a tool. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much.